That stage show was everything to him.
And that was my first televised performance, I think, in like 15 years.
And even after all those years in the game, he said the nerves still hit him before he stepped out.
It was nerve-wracking.
He nailed it. He trended for 3 days. And then the timeline speeds up fast. Early November, he flew back home to Los Angeles. Another long-haul flight across the ocean. Hours strapped in a seat. On November 7, the day before he passed, he went to a doctor for what was described as a touch of pneumonia and a cough that wouldn't quit. And he was sent home with cough medication. On November 8, after coming back from a shopping trip, Heavy D collapsed outside his condominium in Beverly Hills. He couldn't breathe. They rushed him to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, and he was pronounced dead at 44 years old. One more thing about the timing. An initial autopsy in mid-November came back inconclusive. They couldn't say for certain right away, which left a window open for speculation to creep in. The full findings didn't drop until December 27, weeks later. And keep in mind, this wasn't a man in decline. He'd put out the Love Opus EP that same year. He had Tower Heist about to hit theaters, and he just closed the BET Awards to a standing ovation. He was on an upswing, not a downfall, which is exactly the kind of detail conspiracy videos love, because a healthy-seeming man dying without warning always looks like it needs a bigger explanation than it actually has. The first reports out the gate said pneumonia because of that recent cough and that doctor visit, but that wasn't it. On December 27, 2011, the Los Angeles County coroner released the full autopsy. The cause of death was ruled a pulmonary embolism, a blood clot that traveled to the lungs caused by a deep vein thrombosis, a clot that had formed down in his leg. Heart disease was listed as a contributing factor. The coroner said the leg clot was most likely formed during that extended airplane ride, the long flight home from the UK. Toxicology came back clean, only the therapeutic cough medicine. Nothing illegal, nothing suspicious. The manner of death, natural causes. Let me break the medical part down plain, because it matters. When you sit still for a long time, like on a flight that's 6, 7, 10 hours, the blood in your legs can pool and clump into a clot. That's the deep vein thrombosis, the DVT. Most times it stays put. But if a piece of that clot breaks off, it rides the bloodstream up to the lungs and jams an artery. That's the pulmonary embolism, the PE. It can drop you in seconds. Now stack the risk factors. Heavy D was famously a big man, over 300 pounds at points. He had underlying heart disease. He'd been sick with a cough that had him laid up and immobile, and he took 2 long international flights inside of a month. Doctors have a name for exactly this: traveler's thrombosis, sometimes called economy class syndrome. Hev checked every box on the list. The coroner investigator, Craig Harvey, was direct about it. The leg clot most likely formed during that extended airplane ride. The early pneumonia talk got corrected by the science. And here's the number that tells you everything. The toxicology came back with therapeutic levels of cough medicine and nothing else. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no mystery substance, no trauma, no poison, no homicide investigation, no open case. As far as the coroner, the police, and the medical record are concerned, this was a health tragedy. A big man with a history of obesity and heart disease who took 2 long flights and caught a fatal clot. That is the answer. That is the whole answer. So the story should end right there. Case closed, rest in peace, overweight lover. Except it didn't end there. Because more than a decade later, a whole movement online decided the coroner was wrong. That Hev didn't just die, that Hev was silenced. And to understand where that came from, you have to understand a record